Hi Panthers, we are taking a look at section 3.6, which is dividing decimals by whole numbers. And if we look at the lesson objective, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to divide decimals by whole numbers. So make sure your notes are in front of you and you've got a pencil. We'll go through some sample problems here and talk about the steps on how to solve these problems. I think that you are going to feel quite confident with this lesson because it is exactly the same steps that we did earlier this year when we were doing some long division. Just a couple of different things that you'll need to change. So let's take a look at example 1. The directions say to find each quotient, okay? Oh, let's calibrate this. Okay, let's try that again. Circle the word quotient. And remember, the word quotient means find the answer to a division problem. So quotient should ring a bell in your head. It means to divide. So we have here, A says 84 hundredths divided by 3. Now Panthers, before we get started here, I want to remind you, we talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago, but this first number is called your dividend. Go ahead and write that down and label it. And the second number is called the divisor. And one thing I see a lot of Panthers doing is not setting up their long division problem correctly. Please remember and write this down when you have your long division bar. The dividend, or the first number, not the biggest number, the first number is written underneath your division bar, and the divisor is always written on the outside. So please include that in your notes, because if we don't set these problems up correctly, then obviously we'll get the wrong answers. So here we have 84 hundredths divided by 3. What you're going to do is follow the steps here. Place a decimal point in the quotient. So remember, the quotient is the answer. In the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend. So let's take a look. If we're looking over here, I have 84 hundredths divided by 3. I have the decimal point here between the 0 and the 8. Panthers, the only thing different that you need to do between this and the division we practiced a couple weeks is bring it up to the quotient line. That's it. They should be right above each other. Then you are going to go back to the steps, divide as you would with whole numbers. So again, really all that we're doing today that's different than what we did before was we're moving our decimal in our dividend up to our quotient line. So if I do the math here, grab my red. First step, take that decimal point in your dividend and move it up to your quotient. Remember, the quotient's the answer. And then all you have to do is divide. Panthers, does 3 go into 0? No, it's too big. So I slide over here. Does 3 go into 8? Yep, it goes in 2 whole times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. Bring down the next number. And we start all over again with 24. How many times does 3 go into 24? 8 whole times. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract. I have nothing left to bring down, and so I am happy. And so our answer is 28 hundredths. Let's take a look at B here. So again, first we're going to follow the steps right here. Place a decimal point in the quotient. That's the answer line. Directly above the decimal point in the dividend. Remember, the dividend is the first number, so 3 and 56 hundredths is the dividend. 4 is the, do you remember? Divisor. So we place the decimal point in the dividend right up on the quotient line, straight up above it. So go ahead and do that. Put it right here. And then divide as you would with whole numbers. Okay, let's do the math, Panthers. So we're dealing with 4. Does 4 go into 3? 0 times, it's too big. 0 times 4 is 0. Okay, so we're going to look into 35 here. Does 4 go into 35? Yes, it goes in 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract. Bring down the next number. And start all over again. How many times does 4 go into 36? 9. And I write it right above the number I brought down. 8 times 4. 9 times 4 is 36. Subtract. And we are left with nothing left to bring down and a 0. And therefore, 3 and 56/100ths divided by 4 is 0 and 89/100ths. Now, example 2 is a little bit different. We're going to use a little bit of algebra here. What we're going to do is evaluate. Remember, evaluate is another word for solve. Please write that in your notes, Panthers. Remember, what I write down, you write down. And when I looked at some of your notes the other day, some of you had some incomplete areas, and I was unable to give you credit for them. So remember, what I write down, you write down. So here we are evaluating 936 thousandths divided by x. And you're going to be given different values for x to plug in. For example, our first one here, x is 9. So remember, Panthers, the first number is the dividend. And the second value, which we just said is 9, is the divisor. And so we do the math. First, to start off here with our steps to follow, we're going to substitute 9 in for x. Okay. Keep in mind, sometimes you're going to need to use a 0 as a placeholder. I'll show you where that is. Okay. So let's do the math. Again, we're doing 936 thousandths divided by 9. So let's go through here. Our first step, remember, take your decimal in your dividend and put it up on your quotient and begin your division. Does 9 go into 0? Nope, it's too big. 0 times 9 is 9, or 0. 0 times 9 is 0. Okay, then we bring down this next 9. Does 9 go into 9? One whole time. 1 times 9 is 9. Okay. Subtract, we get 0. Bring down the next 3, the next number. Start again. Does 9 go into 3? No, it doesn't, Panthers. It's too big, so put a 0 up top. 0 times 9 is 0. Subtract. We still have a number to bring down. Bring down that 6 and start over again. How many 9s go into 36? 4 of them. 4 times 9 is 36. Now, there's nothing left to bring down. We have a remainder of 0, so we know that our answer is done. Okay, so here's where we're talking about those 0 placeholders. When I initially started in this area, when we decided if 9 went into 3, and it didn't, and so we had to put a 0 up on the line. So be cautious of that, Panthers. Let's take a look at letter B. Doing the same thing here. This time, x is not 9, we're going to use 18. So we're going to do 936 thousandths divided by 18. So first thing, we're going to substitute 18 in for x. We're going to remember that sometimes you need to use a 0 as a placeholder when you can't do the division. And let's take a look. Panthers, step number 1, let's see if you remember. I hope you took the decimal in your dividend and moved it up to your quotient, and then we can divide. Panthers, does 18 go into 0? It doesn't, so we put that 0 up there. Again, I told you, whenever you don't have a digit in the ones place value, always put a 0 in there. And then, does 18 go into 9? No, 18 is bigger than 9, so we're going to say 0 times, there's our placeholder. 0 times 18 is 0. Subtract, get 9, bring down the 3, and start again. Does 18 go into 93? Well, Panthers, let's do some estimation here. About how many 18s do you think go into 93? Well, the answer is 5, okay? And as you're doing your assignment today, Panthers, if you want to have out your multiplication chart to help you with these math facts, please make sure that you have it out. However, we cannot be using any calculators. So we do the math. 5 times 18 ends up being 90, so I subtract. I get 3 remaining. I still have another number to bring down, so we get 36. 18 goes into 36. 2 whole times. Subtract, and there's my 0 remainder with nothing left to bring down. So 936 thousandths divided by 18 is 0 and 52 thousandths. Last one, Panthers. Example 3. Jody and 3 of her friends are making a tile design. The materials cost $10.12. If they share the cost equally, how much should each person pay? Now, Panthers, because this is a story problem, you must use the cube method. So let's go back and read this again, and let's first circle any important numbers. Now, I see one here. I think I see the word 3. I know it's not written in standard form, but I think that might be important. And of course, the total cost of the materials has to be important. Okay. Underline. Let's look at the question first. How much should each person pay? Panthers, what word in this question tells us what units we're going to be doing? How much should each person pay? Please underline pay. Pay means our answer must be in dollars. Do you see any other words in here that would tell us if we're going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? I'm looking at the word share equally. To me, that sounds like they're going to be dividing, okay? So, $10.12 should be divided into 4 equal groups. Panthers, I want you to think right now, where did we get 4 from? I circled the number 3, but what did I forget? It's 3 plus Jody. Let's write that down. It's 3 friends plus Jody. So we have a total of 4 people here. So the total cost was $10.12. We're going to divide that by the 4 friends. Okay. So just a reminder, place a decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend and divide as you would with whole numbers. So first step, Panthers, find the decimal point in your dividend and go right up and put it right above it in the quotient, and then we can divide. Panthers, does 4 go into 10? 2 whole times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. Bring down. Start again. How many times does 4 go into 21? 5 whole times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract. Bring down. Do it again. Now we're doing 12. How many 4s are into 12? Hopefully you're saying 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract. And I've got nothing left to bring down. So each person is going to have to pay. Here are my units, Panthers. Don't forget your units. $2.53. Okay. Panthers, as always, you do not need to do the try this problems unless you want to. If you feel like, I think I'm kind of getting this, I would encourage you to go ahead and try them, but it is not necessary. This is the end of our lesson. Going back to our lesson objective, hopefully by now you have a better understanding of how to divide decimals by whole numbers. Panthers, have a great day.